first, why learn coding? Then we'll move on to how you
Shotgun
can
spawned.
start coding for yourself. How will you start it? Then third, we'll discuss which languages should you start with, which language should you choose. Then we'll discuss how you can choose a project. We'll discuss what this particular topic is. And then we'll discuss the learning path. What is the learning
Magic
path?
shield activated.
And finally, we will conclude by
Magic
discussing
shield
what are the different kinds
activated.
of jobs you can get. in
Magic
this
shield
particular field.
activated. Magic
So
shield
guys,
activated.
let's go ahead and start the session.
Shotgun spawned.
So our first question here is, our first discussion topic, why learn coding? So this is the question for you as well as me. Why should you learn coding? And
Shotgun
do
spawned.
you really want to learn?
Magic shield
So
activated.
let's actually discuss a story. So we have a person, and this person wants to earn a very high salary. They don't know what they want to do in life, but they just know they want to learn, they want to earn a very high salary. So they decide to become a software engineer or software
Shotgun
developer
spawned.
because they heard that it pays a lot. Then there is a person who's just interested in coding
Magic
and
shield
in
activated.
developing, in programming. So they take up this particular field of coding, programming, just because they're interested in this field. And then there's this third person. He has already been working in a particular
Shotgun
field. Suppose
spawned.
he's a business analyst. Now he's been working since the 90s or the 80s, and during that time they didn't use any such special algorithms to think about the
Magic
data
shield
and make
activated.
powerful decisions. But these days the market has to change, and he has to adapt with the market to incorporate coding into
Shotgun
his
spawned.
own working culture, so that he can make better decisions based on the data that is being collected. You know how data science works, right? So all these three people have the same goal in mind. They want to become better at coding. They want to become coders
Magic
or
shield
programmers.
activated.
They want to become programmers. At least they want to learn what
Shotgun
coding is
spawned.
or how to work with coding. So these can be few of the reasons why you would want to become a coder. Maybe you want to get a really high-paying job. Maybe you're just interested in coding. Maybe you're just learning coding to adapt with the change, with the market, adapt to the market, adapt to the change that's happening.
Shotgun
in the market.
spawned. Magic
So
shield
you should ask
activated.
yourself, why do you want to learn coding? Now, this is important. You should ask this question to yourself because, if you don't have the motive of your learning in mind properly, then you will, fall off the horse. Once you start learning coding, if
Shotgun
you come
spawned.
across an error, then if you're not able to solve that error, then you'll stop doing it because you don't have any proper
Magic
motivation.
shield
So
activated.
make sure that you have a proper motivation in your mind when you start off by learning what coding is. So ask yourselves this question: why do you want to learn coding? Alright guys, now
Shotgun
let's discuss
spawned.
how you can start coding by yourself. Okay? So you can start coding off, basically by figuring
Magic
out what you
shield
want.
activated.
Alright, so let's discuss this. So now you've asked yourself that what is your motive to become a coder? What is you why do you want to
Shotgun
do that?
spawned.
Now you have to go ahead with the next step, that is to learn how to start. So coding, this is a very generic term, how to start coding. It's a very vast field. Computer science is a very vast field. There are so many different fields you can get in.
Magic shield
So
activated.
you have to narrow it down. So this is
Shotgun
like problem
spawned.
solving. You have a very big problem. You divide it into smaller parts and then solve it. So similarly with this question of how to start coding, you need to divide it into a smaller component. So with the question how to start coding, you should first go ahead and narrow it down to where do you want to code or how do you want to
Shotgun
code.
spawned.
So first you need to figure
Magic
out
shield
what
activated.
do you want to do with coding. Do you want to develop an application? Do you want to make a bot? Do you want to develop a website? What kind of thing do you want to do? So once you've figured that out, you should go ahead and learn what are the languages and the
Shotgun
tools that are
spawned.
required for the particular thing. Let me give you an example. Of the person who is just interested in coding, but he's not
Magic
he's
shield
never
activated.
gotten into coding. He's just heard about how hacking is so cool and he wants to get into coding. So he starts off by first deciding what kind of project he wants to do. So he wants to do a project where he's going to be
Shotgun
making a
spawned.
recommendation system on a website. But the thing is, this recommendation system does not use any powerful algorithms or something. It's just for him to share a few details with his family because the family lives
Magic
far
shield
apart.
activated.
So he just wants to share a few details with them. So
spawned.
Then learn the basics of that language. Like, all the different basics of a particular language. Just learn that. And then move ahead and make the application. Now, a disclaimer here. When you're going to make this application, make sure that the application you're making is a very simple one. Because when you
Shotgun
start off,
spawned.
always start with baby
Magic
steps.
shield
Because if
activated.
you start with something gigantic, if you want to make like the whole Facebook website, then you'll obviously fall off the first step itself because you don't know where to start from. So rather making such a huge website, what you can do is you can just start by creating a small website where you basically can create accounts
Shotgun
and
spawned.
post statuses. That's it. So this is how I suggest you guys
Magic
to
shield
start off
activated.
just start coding. Alright, so first that is figure out what you want to do. So let me give an example. So
Shotgun
you
spawned.
can do a lot of things. You can make a small game. So if you're into gaming and you want to make a particular small you want to get into the gaming industry, you want to become a game developer, then you should start off with
Magic
a very
shield
small
activated.
game, app. Not an apps per se, like a particular like a snake ladders, snake game, the one we had on our
Shotgun
Nokia
spawned.
mobiles, like that. That sort of a game, or very simple one, like um, the defender game where you're basically shooting aliens from below. And if you're not that, then you can go ahead and make a web application or a mobile
Magic
application.
shield
A very simple
activated.
one per se. Very small.
Shotgun
In mobile
spawned.
app, if you're gonna make a mobile app, I would recommend not going for a mobile app right now. But if you're really interested in making a mobile app, then you can go ahead and make a very simple app that just opens up and tells you what the time is. So that way. So then this way, first figure out what you really want to do as a project. Then figure out what are the languages
Shotgun
and tools
spawned.
you can use. So there are a lot of
Magic
languages
shield
out there
activated.
that you can use. Like let me give you, you have Python, C++, JavaScript, and you have similarly tools with them that that you have to use with them. You can use your IDEs, that are integrated development environments, basically where you write the code, and you need compilers and all those tools. So
Shotgun
figure out
spawned.
what do you need with all of this. So to give you a better idea, let's take an example of you want to make a
Magic
web
shield
application.
activated.
So you've decided that you're going to be making that web application where you're basically going to be displaying time of all the family members that are living across the globe. And then you decide to choose a particular language. You go
Shotgun
ahead
spawned.
using JavaScript because that is what's used to create the front end. You use JavaScript, HTML, CSS to make the front end, and then you decide to use a particular tool. Maybe you're using Visual Studio Code
Magic
as a
shield
place where you write
activated.
the JavaScript code. So that is the tool you're using. Then you learn the basics of that language. Now JavaScript will have a lot of different
Shotgun
basics,
spawned.
but it has some coding basics also. Like you have your loops, like for loops, while loops, then you have if statements, then you have variables, then you have functions and arrays. So these are like a kind of the basics of the particular language. Not just the language, it's the
Magic shield
fundamentals of any
activated.
language. When you're working with any language, you have loops,
Shotgun
statements,
spawned.
variables, and functions and arrays. And similarly, that example of making that website, you're learning JavaScript, so you'll have to learn these, and then you have to learn the basics of the language itself. You'll have to learn a little bit of HTML, a little bit of CSS, a little bit of JavaScript, and once you learn all of those, the fundamentals of all of those things, then you can go ahead and create the application that you want.
Shotgun spawned.
Now and then create
Magic
a
shield
basic
activated.
application. So now he knows what he wants to create, and he's creating it then. So the process of creation, when he's creating the web application, he'll be learning a lot of things. He'll be learning how to create functions in JavaScript. He'll be learning how to place certain
Shotgun
things
spawned.
using CSS, how to color them, how to make it more fancy looking, and how to divide
Magic
the
shield
content
activated.
using HTML. So a lot of different things you'll be learning when you're creating this application. Now remember, a very important factor here is that you should not go for something that is complicated. You should go for something that is very simple. If you go for very simple, then
Shotgun
in
spawned.
starting it feels like, oh, I'm not doing anything, but you're actually learning. So if you complete this application right, then you should give yourself a pat on the back because you've done something amazing. You started from not knowing anything.
Magic
coding
shield
to create
activated.
a basic application. Yeah, that's a good step. Once you've learned this, then you should go ahead for different other applications. Like once you completed your first project, do
Shotgun
a second
spawned.
project. This time when you're doing a second project, make sure that it's a little bit more complicated. Again, not so complicated as making a whole Facebook website. Make it a little bit more complicated so that you can work with it and learn new things with it. So So, the
Magic
whole
shield
cycle
activated.
repeats. You define an aim again. You choose the particular
Shotgun spawned.
language. Well, you already chosen the language. You choose what are the libraries you're going to use, all the different tools you're going to use, and you're going to learn how to use them. So this way, slowly doing projects, you learn how to become a coder. So guys, that is how you're going to start coding. Alright, so let me
Shotgun
just
spawned.
briefly tell you
Magic
how
shield
you should
activated.
choose